Good morning, students. Today we are discussing about the temporomandibular joint. Yesterday we have discussed about the muscles of mastication. You know that what the muscles are involving in the mastication. One is the temporalis muscle, masseter muscle, lateral pterygoid, medial pterygoid muscles. Okay, these are muscles also involving in the movement of the temporomandibular joint. In the temporomandibular joint, it is a synovial type, condylar type of the synovial joint. So why it is called? See here the condyles are involving. Condyles of the head of the mandible is involving. That's why we are calling the condylar variety of the synovial joint. Here the what are the articular surfaces? One is the upper articular surface is formed by the one is the temporal bone, that is the articular tubercle, anterior part of the mandibular fossa. See, if you see the base of the skull region, we are identifying this the articular surface that is in the temporal bone. One is the articular tubercle, another one is the anterior part of mandibular fossa. Next, inferiorly, articular surface is found by head of the mandible. Head of the mandible is forms the inferior articular surface, whereas the mandibular fossa of the temporal bone art forms the upper articular surface. Not only these two articular surface, it is covered by the fibrous cartilage. These two articular surface, and also we can identify in this the cavity of this divided into upper and lower parts by the intra-articular disc. So there is a fibrocartilage, that is a articular disc is there. The disc is separates the upper and lower parts of the articular surfaces. See here, we can also find here that this is articular surface. This is a mandibular fossa. This is a temporal bone. This is a intra-articular disc. This is head of the mandible. Head of the see here also head of the mandible. This is articular surface of the temporal bone. These two are the bones separated by the articular disc is there. The concavo convex. It is look like a S-shaped structure. Some ligaments. Here the one is the fibrous capsule is there. Lateral ligaments, sphenomandibular ligament, stylomandibular ligament. These are giving the support and strength to the this temporomandibular joint. So fibrous capsule, it is a very thin and strong. Strong. It's covered to the this anterior and posteriorly. And also lateral ligament. It covered to the lateral side of this joint cavity. Sphenomandibular ligament. Sphenoid tubercle. It is extends this ligament from the sphenoid bone having the sphenoid, that is a sphenoid tubercle, from the sphenoid tubercles to up to the mandible, that is a sphenomandibular ligament. Next another one is the stylomandibular ligament, from the styloid process to mandible. These two and lateral ligament and fibrous capsules of the ligaments all four give the support to the temporomandibular joint. Next is the articular disc. So between these two articular disc is there. It is an oval fibrous plate that divides the joint into upper and lower compartment. So it is a S shape is there. It divides the joint cavity into two parts, upper and lower compartments. The upper compartment permits the gliding movements, whereas the lower is the rotatory as well as the gliding movements. So the disc has the concave, that is facing towards the inferior surface. The periphery of the disc is attached to the fibrous capsule. So outer margin of this articular disc is covered with the fibrous capsule. So some others saying the disc is represent the it is a degenerative primitive insertion of the lateral pterygoid muscles. So some others saying sometimes scientists, so lateral pterygoid muscle where it is going to insert, that is the degeneration part of the disc is formed in between the joint cavity. See here, We can also finding the ligaments how. So this is the sphenomandibular ligament. Sphenoid bone, sphenoid tubercle. From here, the extends sphenomandibular ligament. After reaching to here, it divides like a lateral and medial parts. Next, another ligament is stylomandibular ligament. This is a styloid process to mandible. So this is a stylomandibular ligament. This sphenomandibular ligament. This is a articular capsule is there. Next, see, this is a capsule. This is a lateral ligament of the joint cavity. This is a sphenomandibular ligament. Next, this is the stylomandibular ligament. These are the ligament give the support and strength to this joint cavity. It is also one of the weakest joint in the on the skull, on the facial skeleton. The relations of the temporomandibular joint. What are the relations? So lateral side, first we are finding the skin, then the deep fascia, then parotid gland, and also temporal branches of the facial nerve. These are the laterally relation with this temporomandibular joint. When we are separating this, when you're doing the dissection and separating to the middle surface of this, we can identify the tympanic plate. The tympanic plate is separates the joint from the internal carotid artery. So internal carotid artery are separated by this tympanic plate. Next, spine of the sphenoid bone and sphenomandibular ligament. Next, auriculotemporal and caudotympanic nerves also crossing middle surface of this TM joint. Next to middle meningeal artery. This middle meningeal artery, it is a branch of the first part of the maxillary artery. This gives the first part. Middle meningeal artery is going and reach to the foramen lacerum. So next is the anteriorly relation with the lateral pterygoid mesenteric nerve to mesenteric and also mesenteric artery. So these are the anterior relation, whereas the posterior to this joint, the parotid gland separates the joint from the external auditory meatus. Superficial temporal vessels, auriculotemporal nerve. These are relation with the TM joint posteriorly. See here, we can identify the auriculotemporal nerve, some blood vessels, superficial temporal artery, and the vein. This is some are relation with this posterior to the this joint, TM joint. See here the maxillary artery branches. Here it is going and a posterior relation with this auriculotemporal nerve. Next, superiorly, it is relation with the middle cranial fossa, middle meningeal vessels. So whereas inferiorly to this maxillary artery and maxillary vein relation with this TM joint. What is the blood supply of this TM joint? So mainly, what are the blood vessels are crossing nearer to the joints? That those only give the articular branches. One is the maxillary artery. See, it is near to the neck of the mandible. We are identifying. So maxillary artery, it is crossing. Maxillary artery give a branches to articular branches to the TM joint. Next, the veins. What are the veins are there? See here, the maxillary arteries means the maxillary vein receives the is the venous collection from this TM joint. See here, we are identifying. See, they are the veins. These are the arteries. See, this is a maxillary artery. It gives branches. First part, middle meningeal artery. This is auriculotemporal now. Here the first part. One is giving upwards. That is the middle meningeal artery. This is the inferior alveolar artery. It is going to reach enter into the mandible. This is the middle meningeal artery. Anterior relation with this TM joint. So nerve supply is here the auriculotemporal nerve and the nerve to mesentery. The movements are here the protraction, retraction, depression, and elevation, slide to side gliding movements. So how it is? So the forward movement is called the protraction, and backward movement, that is articular disc glides the backward movement, that is called the retraction, whereas the slight opening of the mouth is the depression and the closing of the mouth is the that is the elevation. See here, depression, the muscles are lateral pterygoid muscle, digastric muscle, genioid, and mylohyoid muscles are involving in the at the time of the depression. Where is the elevation? elevation, here the mesenteric muscle, temporalis, middle pterygoid muscles are involving in the elevation movements. And the protraction, protrusion, lateral and middle pterygoid muscles. Retraction, posterior horizontal fibers of the temporalis. And lateral or side to side movement, that is the chewing at the time. Right lateral pterygoid and middle pterygoid muscles are involving the side to side movements. These are the five movements we are finding at the TM joint. So these muscles only, the madam told already, that is the mesenteric muscle, temporalis muscle, lateral pterygoid, medial pterygoid muscles for the mastication, as well as the TM joint movements. See here, the diagram is saying protraction. So forward movement, that is the lateral pterygoid assisted by the middle pterygoid. Whereas the retraction, reverse, that is posterior fibers of temporalis and deeper part of the masseter, and also genioid and digastric muscle. Whereas the elevation, closing, that is the temporalis and masseter middle pterygoid muscles. Whereas the opening of the mouth, that is the depression, that gravity, digastric and the mylohyoid muscles. The clinically here the only one, that is a dislocation of the TM joint. So when it is dislocates, when it is over opening of this, and that time the head of the mandible is dislocates from the this capsule, that is a giant cavity. It is the weakest joint in the skull region. So sometimes we are finding this dislocation of the TM joint. Now you know this, watch which type of joint, what are the ligaments give the support, what are the articular surfaces, what is the relations, what is the blood supply, nerve supply, actions that we are discussed. So this question may are expecting in the LAQ question, sometimes they are asking the only short notes. It's important in the skull head and neck region, the only one joint, that is a TM joint. Thank you.